The great historic river winds its way through a frontier that is breathtaking in its vastness and beauty. This is the land of Canada's Northwest Territories. Hello, I'm Don McGowan. Welcome to an adventure cruise on the Mackenzie River.
The Dene have lived along the Mackenzie for thousands of years. They call it Decho, the Big River. Early explorers came in search of furs. In 1789, Scotsman Alexander Mackenzie was the first non-native to travel the river. As a result of his reports, fur trading posts were established. By the early 1800s, these posts had been taken over by the Hudson Bay Company. For almost 150 years, settlers arrived looking for furs, timber, and oil. Canoes and riverboats have been replaced by tugs and barges. In summertime, the Mackenzie is the main highway for goods and services.
What's the dog's name?
Princess.
The young people of these remote communities are obviously in tune with the ways of the South. Technology keeps the Dene up to date. Pristine wilderness and the lure of discovery beckon tourists to Canada's Northwest Territories. Our cruise down the Mackenzie River aboard the MS Norweta reveals a land of contrast, a land rich in history and culture.
The MS Norweta was built in 1971 and rebuilt 20 years later. She is 103 feet in length, 25 feet wide. Here's a quick tour. Below the boat deck, this is the main deck. Here's our breakfast room, and my cabin is just down the corridor. This is the cabin section. I'm in here. Whoops, excuse me. This one. Here's my cozy cabin. We have bunk beds. They are very comfortable. Plenty of storage space, twin cupboards, my life jackets. I have one porthole and a small writing desk. The loo, in here. Toilet, shower, and sink.
Our captain, Greg Whitlock, is in charge of the bridge. Cruising speed 22 kilometers or 14 miles per hour. Our chef is Tom Lancaster.
What would you like this morning? Would you like some eggs, ham, sausage, bacon, and we have some nice raisin bread.
Sounds wonderful. And so our Mackenzie River adventure begins. This homey setting is a great place to meet our fellow passengers as we cruise across Great Slave Lake, one of the largest lakes in the world. After breakfast, our purser, Fred Camsell, gives us a quick overview of the plans for today and tomorrow. By evening, we'll reach the mouth of the Mackenzie. Several shore visits unveil the mystery of the North. History comes alive as we go exploring on remote coastlines of ancient rock. There are signs underfoot as Mother Nature reveals footprints of recent visitors, a bear cub and moose. There's a real sense of adventure when you jump off the Norweta into the frosty waters of the Mackenzie, if you dare. Cookouts and bonfires give new meaning to life in the great, and I mean great, outdoors. Our cruise also allows time for fishing.
Now, Fred, what are we going after this morning?
Great northern pike.
What are the characteristics of that fish?
Well, it's very voracious. It eats everything.
The clean waters of the Northwest Territories produce healthy fish stocks.
Oh, look at this! Wow! Woo!
Hard-fighting northern pike are found throughout most of mainland Northwest Territories. Here in the north, an active catch and release policy is encouraged but not enforced.
8 pounds? Boy, that didn't take long.
Traveling along, binoculars are available to sight some of the many birds that fly north each summer to breed. Over 280 species have been recorded.
This is the lounge. Lunch and dinner are served here, and the occasional hot game of Scrabble is played out in late afternoon. How's the soup? What is it? Oh, it's potato? Oh, have some.
This is a very leisurely cruise. Life on the Mackenzie offers a nice blend of shore visits, time for your own pursuits, reading or a handicraft, and daily there's a history lesson on an upcoming area. The Norweta's resident historian is Erica Tassar.
Fort Simpson was in fact the head of the Mackenzie fur trading posts.
Leave your gown and tuxedo at home. On this cruise, the dress is very informal. You will need good anti-slip footwear. The temperature range is from 40 to 80 degrees. As for mosquitoes and black flies, yes, there are more of them than us. On short trips like this one, cover legs and arms and bring along a good bug repellent. Gotcha!
Fort Simpson, home to the South Slavey Dene, has the distinction of being the oldest continuously occupied trading post on the Mackenzie River. The papal grounds were originally prepared for the visit of Pope John Paul II in 1984. Fog prevented the Pontiff's airplane from landing, but he returned to Fort Simpson 3 years later. The first missionaries came to Fort Simpson in the latter part of the 19th century. Roman Catholic and Anglican missions were established. Traditionally done by women, the arts and crafts of the Mackenzie River area are very distinctive. Moose hides are still prepared for tanning in the old way. Beaded floral designs and beautifully beaded mucklucks express the best of Dene creativity. Colorful designs made from dyed porcupine quills adorn birch bark baskets, an art form truly unique to the north. Alexander Mackenzie traveled this great river in search of a route to the Pacific Ocean. His plans didn't quite turn out the way he expected.
It was here at Camsell Bend in 1789 that Alexander Mackenzie realized he would not reach the Pacific Ocean. The river here makes an abrupt turn to the north. Mackenzie must have been very disappointed. I hope he had a bottle of 15-year-old single malt whiskey aboard.
This impressive view along the Mackenzie River includes the Camsell Range, named after Julian Camsell, a famous northern pioneer. Our captain, Greg Whitlock, is a direct descendant.
My great-great-grandfather was Julian Camsell, who was chief factor for the Hudson Bay Company from the 1850s to 1900.
That's like general manager.
The general manager of the Mackenzie District.
The Whitlocks have a rich European and native background. Their ties to the land and love for this region are very strong. Passengers on the Norweta will enjoy meeting Greg's mother, Margaret Camsell Whitlock.
We want to be able to have them experience the vast beauty of this land that we live in. It's so great, and I don't think people realize how large it is until they actually make this trip. We take them back in history. It's a unique experience because we're retracing Alexander Mackenzie's footprints.
The MS Norweta turns north as we head towards Fort Norman.
Big smile for Maryland. That's great. And I'll pan off the range. Thank you, Robbie.
Migrating birds hurry north, and on shore a black bear heads for the woods. All meals on the Norweta are served family style, and the cooking is hearty. Supper is always eaten in full daylight because the sun never really sets. The loneliness and stillness of the Mackenzie grows on you. The river is all ours. Fort Norman is dwarfed by Bear Rock. The Mackenzie and Bear Rivers meet here, giving the community its traditional name, Tulita, meeting place of two rivers. An historic Anglican mission is the oldest standing church in the Mackenzie Valley.
Our hosts, the Whitlock family, plan events that help us to better understand the people of the North, whose old ways are disappearing to jobs in tourism, mining, and government. Yet many Dene and Metis still live close to the land. On this short trip, a good chance to share local traditions.
Arctic grayling, moose, buffalo, these are some of the local foods offered by this hospitable community. From the ship, we've brought chili and hot dogs. Not so traditional, but still good. The young people seem very excited by our visit, and there's lots of time to get acquainted. Fort Norman is isolated. There's no all-weather road. In winter, travel is by snowmobile. In summer, other options are available. Gordon Yakalea is chief of the Tulita Dene Band.
only means of way of traveling into the summer is by aircraft and by boat.
How close are you to a road, to a highway?
Well, we are about 150 miles south.
Although the Dene are bridging the gap to the modern industrial world, they have not abandoned their traditional ways. The Dreamcatchers are a young group of performers who travel to other communities within the territories in Alaska to spread a message of well-being and togetherness within the community. The Dene's ancient oral traditions, chanting and drum dancing, echo through Canada's north as we head back to our boat.
In the summer this far north, the days are very long. It is 9 minutes past midnight. I'm having a nightcap in the daylight. Ah, such is life in the land of the midnight sun. Cheers. In the summer, the sun never sets on Inuvik. Unlike other communities, the town has no traditional past. It was founded in 1955 as a supply center. Inuvik means place of humans. The population is 1/3 Inuit, 1/3 Gwich'in, and 1/3 white. Now, how's that for a Canadian mosaic?
Inuvik is the first community north of the Arctic Circle built to provide the normal facilities of a Canadian town. At Koe Park, a triple-arch monument signifies the peoples of this Arctic town. Inuvik is the supply and administrative center for the Western Arctic. Service is available in 4 languages. Ingamo Hall, Inuvik's Friendship Center, is a truly northern building. It's made from logs that were rafted down the Mackenzie River. Known as the Igloo Church, Our Lady of Victory, built in 1960, reflects the uniqueness of the people it serves. The church is a rich blend of Catholic symbolism and local custom and tradition. Visitors are welcome. Arrangements may be made through the Visitor Center. Inuvik is the terminus of the famous Dempster Highway, the only public road in Canada to cross the Arctic Circle. The Dempster travels south to Dawson City in the Yukon.